Hi everybody, this is Tina with Rehatch Designs, and I'm here with a video. It's kind of a continuation of things that we're putting in our little box that we made. We made our little shaker box to house a few little gifts and a small little journal that we will be making on Friday. And we've done, this is our box, and then we've made this tree the last time, and we also made this little ornament. Okay, and we're going to make one more thing to put in there besides a journal, so it'll be nice and full when we give it to someone. Okay, so anyway, that's what we have so far, and those videos are all in the playlist, so if you haven't seen them, you can catch up on them. But what we're going to do now is we are going to make a tag, and it should fit inside, but we're also, going to make it to where if you want to put it outside the box, as part of the gift or whatever, we can do that. It's going to be a little different, a little unique. Rather than, just a tag, we're going to take it to another level. And anyway, so it's basically kind of a, going to be a, more of a 3D type of a tag. So what we're going to be using today is paper clay. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's really a fun thing to have. It's not that expensive. I bought this on Amazon, and it really will last quite a long time. I have in this plastic baggie, I put a wet cotton cloth in there when I pack it away, and I try and get most of the air out. That way it won't dry up. It's going to dry up to some degree, but honestly, if you pack it well and then, put that wet cloth in there, it'll do okay. It'll last you a long time because you don't need much for, the kind of things that we're doing. I guess if you're doing a lot of stuff, you could go through it pretty quick. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to use that paper clay, and I have some molds here that I bought. Again, I bought these off of Amazon, but they're readily, you can get these in the cake decorating area. That's really what they're used for, but it works great with this clay, and there's so many uses for this. I love them because I do things like I make, just to show you, just if you think it's worthwhile, you can make frames with them. This is a frame that I made that I'm going to make something with, and larger frames too. They have all different sizes, but I'm going to be doing something with these. I make them out of paper rather than any other type of clay, or the baking clay or anything like that. I forgot what you call it. The reason is because it's very lightweight if you make it out of paper clay. So for instance, if I put something like this on a tag, it's really, you can't even feel it. If I make a larger one and I put it on a cover or something, you're not going to really feel it. It's just, it's super lightweight. With that though, it can be a little, we're missing one of our little, there it is. Okay. But anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to be using these, and just some fussy cut things that I have, and then just some regular, let's see, what do we have here? We have lace, we have we're going to use our little glass glitter. See, look, I've hardly used any of this, and we've done several projects with this. So, I mean, you could it'll last you a while, or you could use silver glitter or gold glitter or whatever. We're going to be using also some lace, and then I am going to be using this. This is just oh, I forgot what you call this stuff. These are like gilding sheets or flakes. Sometimes they sell them in flakes, but I bought the sheets. I bought these ages ago on Amazon. It doesn't really say. I think they're still out there. It's HBF, Happy Your Life. I don't know what that means. But we're going to use, it's probably only going to take one sheet to do this. I don't know. I bought them and it's like a lifetime supply in here. And it has silver and copper and gold. But we're going to be using that also. Okay. Let's just kind of get started with what you would have to do first. If you have your paper clay, all right, you would just, and you just do this the night before, and honestly, you could actually do it and dry it with your, I've done it where I've dried it with my heat gun, and it works okay. So I just take a chunk of this off. It's really, I like this brand. I've bought some before that it didn't mold as well. This stuff really, I don't know. It doesn't crack and break that easily. But here, I leave it in the bag closed while I'm using it, you know, so it doesn't dry out. And I just kind of keep it in there and then just get more when I need. It doesn't take much. So you're just basically going to, you know, take this stuff, and no matter what you're doing, you're basically doing it the same way. You're smushing it down. Make sure you get it in the mold good. It's not that hard. It's kind of a fun thing to play with clay. And it's not, and these molds, honestly, you can use them for, you know, different things. But I like paper clay just because it's so light when I'm working with paper. I guess it just depends on what you're using it for. So, polymer clay, that's what I was trying to say. You could, you know, easily use it for polymer clay or resin or whatever, but paper clay, oh, I went and got more and I realized I had more sitting right over there. I just take it and smush it all in there. Okay. Now see how that's kind of, you've got too much in there? That's okay, because what you're going to do, you get it all in there, make sure it's in there good, press down, and you can use, I sometimes use a plastic spoon and just kind of make sure I flatten it out to where it's, you know, it's flat, okay? So that, you know it's in there good. And I just take like this little spatula. You could use a little plastic knife, or I guess a real butter knife or something. But all you're trying to do is just kind of skim it. You don't want to dig down in it. You want to make sure, like, see right there, I took too much out and it didn't get the bottom of that. So you're just trying to get the extra off, which is really not hard to do. Okay. So that is basically the back of it. Okay. And then you're going to do that on the other side. See, I dug down too much, but it's easily fixed. All right, there we go. And that, I'm just taking the excess off. Make sure it's all pushed down. And you know, if there's a little extra later, it's really easy to get off. Really easy to get off. I just take just a little sanding or a emery board thing that I get from the dollar store, and I just, when it's dry, the stuff just comes right off. And these are basically the same. What I do on these is I just kind of make like a little snake and fill it in because they're so thin, and just kind of fill it in. And you're going to do the same thing with these that you did with that, is you're going to just get it to where, you know, you get it all filled in. You want to make sure it gets down in there good, because that is what gives the indentation. I'm not going to do all these, but then you just do the same thing. You just kind of scoop it all out. Oh, see, I did too much. I scooped the whole thing. That, no big deal. And you can use your fingers or something and just kind of rub it off the top too. You don't have to use a tool. Sometimes it's easier to use your fingers than a tool. And just kind of go skim it. See, I took too much out again, but that's okay. The smaller ones to me are harder. The smaller they are, the harder they are to get in there. So there we go. Now I got all that in there. I'm going to smush it all around. And then just kind of barely go across the top. And that just gets everything off. And you can get it off, you know, after it's dry, but it's just easier to do it now. And there'll always be like little spots in there that you need to sand off. Not a big deal. Super easy to do. And as small as these are, easily overnight it'll be dry. But I have waited an hour and then they're semi-dry and I pop them out and then I just take my heat gun and I'll dry them. That's it. And so you don't even have to honestly wait overnight if you don't want to, but best way to do it probably is just to fill a bunch of them and let them sit, and then you pop them out and they will be ready to go. So take your extra, put it back in your little thing. So you would just let that dry, and then when they're done, you know, you're just gonna, like, I'm gonna pop one of these out and you'll see. Of course it can break because it's just, I just now put it in there, so it's probably not gonna pop out well, but okay. Now this is not dry, so it's gonna probably break on the bottom, but this is basically what you're gonna get, okay? Is something like that. And I've popped them out, you know, maybe after they've been in there for an hour and they're moist, but they're not wet like they are now. And then just taken my, you know, my gun and just shoot it with, for, you know, not a lot, and they'll be dry pretty quick. And so then you have your three-dimensional, whatever it is that you're going to do. I'm going to put him back in there, just so it will have time to completely dry. Okay, so I will leave that over here and then end up using it later. But this is what I did, is I got these, ended up with these angel wings, and I'm going to use these other little pieces, and this came all from those two molds, these two pieces. And I'm going to use one of these. I'm not sure which one yet. I haven't made up my mind. But that's what we're going to use. Okay. And that's what we're going to use to decorate our tag. But we're going to do something to it. Wipe off my hands real quick. We're going to just do a few things to the tag before we get to that part. Okay. So anyway, it's a fun thing to get. You might enjoy doing it. It's not super expensive. I mean, the molds are not really super, and honestly, you can buy, for the kind of stuff that you would do, all these little things like that, you could buy one or two little molds and you'd be set. Now see, there's some rough areas on this. So I would take this and just kind of lightly go like that, or you can take a smaller one. I think I have a smaller one up. Yeah. And kind of go in if it's real detailed, and just kind of just sand it. I mean, it's paper, so it's, you know, easy to work with, okay? And very, very lightweight, and that's kind of the point. if you were to use polymer clay or even a resin or whatever, it'd be kind of heavy for a tag. So you just sand off the rough spots, and if you're gonna paint it, you could just paint it, or you could put a primer or gesso or something on it. I just think for us, I am gonna paint it, but I'm gonna also put some other stuff on there too. So the first thing I'm gonna do, let me get a piece of paper so I can let it sit on there. I am just gonna paint these, and then we'll deal with the second part. It'll be dry by then, I hope. Okay. And if you have one of these crack or something, you can just glue it back together. Honestly, that's what happened here. And it's not that big a deal. It's just paper, and you glue it back together. Let me see, what was I, where did it go? I am taking this Gold Rush Metallic Luster, and I'm going to use it kind of like a paint. Let me get my brush over here. I really want a softer brush because I don't want to break it. Let's see. Yeah, I think this brush would work. Okay. I do need a little bit of water. Put it in here. And I'm just going to take it and get that in there. Just put a little bit, because this mine is really dry. I need to get more, but you know. But I'm going to use it like a paint because it has like a metallic type finish. And that's kind of what I want. So I'm just kind of mixing it up a little bit. And I am just going to take that and go over our wings and everything. And you could take the time to prime it and all that, but I don't think we need to. And this stuff dries pretty quick too, so we are going to just do this. And we'll probably speed this up, so I won't bother talking. And I do think it probably will only take one coat if you get it good, you know. You do need to kind of get the sides because this is dimensional and you will be able to see them. Okay, so I'm going to get all of it, cover it really good. So I am going to do all of this. I'm going to do all of these pieces just like that, and then I will be right back. Okay, so we have gotten to the point where we're going to get our tag ready, and I picked out a tag that was big enough, wide enough that we could fit all our elements on, but I still am hoping I can still fit it inside the box. So I also, and I decided to use this, it's a cardstock, and it is silver, just because I'm going to be putting some lace over it, and you'll be able to see through it, so it won't be so, you know, but it'll look nice behind it. And I don't want to do gold because I don't want it to, I just don't want it to, you know, I want you to be able to see the gold accents in there. So if I put gold on there, you probably wouldn't notice it. I'm going to be using this image of this angel. I got this off the Graphics Fairy. And what we're going to be doing is using these angel wings and not, you know, we're going to add those on here. So you kind of have to size it to where you think it'll work on your tag or whatever if you have an image. This is about the size I think I wanted. So anyway, we'll be working with that. First, I'm going to go ahead and put my lace on here. And I was trying to decide between the white lace and the beige, and I think I like the beige with the image. I think it'll look better. So I'm going to do that. And this is just a random piece I cut out that I thought, well, would look good. And I'm going to glue this on. And if you want to sew it, you could definitely sew it on. If you want to sew anything on the back or whatever, now is a time after you put the lace on to do that, because once you put those other pieces in, you cannot sew around it. It's a little bit clogged up. All right, let's try this. And I'm just going to put some glue kind of everywhere. And this lace has like a scallop on the bottom, and I'm going to let that hang down a little because you're not really going to see it at the top very much. So I want it to hang down a little bit. Okay, not put too much glue up there. I don't need it up there. Get that off. Let me get a wipe here. And this way I can get the extra glue off of there. Get all of that off. Oh boy. Most of this is going to be covered anyway, but I still would like to get all that extra off of there. Get it up a little bit higher. This is kind of stretchy, so it'll work. Okay. Just trying to get all the extra glue off of there so it won't have all those little shiny spots. Okay. And if you're going to sew it, I'd cut that, and then I am probably going to back this and then sew around it, just because I want it to be sturdy, because even though we're using paper clay, we're putting a lot of elements on there, and I want it to, you know, be a sturdy. This is pretty thick cardstock, but I still think it would be good to make it just a tiny bit thicker. And plus, I think the sewing is kind of a nice touch. You do not have to do that. And I'll probably add a camera when I was bringing that toward myself. All I'm doing is cutting around it. So that's how our tag is going to look prior to sewing. Let's see, what was I going to put on the back? Let me look in here real quick and see what I got. I have a little stack over here. I always have stuff over here that I wonder if I want to put music paper on there. Do I? That might be kind of cool. And it's kind of light enough that you could write on the back. That would be neat. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. That would be kind of fun. I have a lot of different papers, a stack of them over here. Or I could put, let's see. I could put something like this. Now I think I'm going to do the paper, the music paper. So, and on this I'm probably just going to use a glue stick because I'm waiting for this other to dry. And then I will sew around this. And if you're going to sew around it, like I said, now's the time to do it, because you will not have that opportunity later. And this is just music paper from like a paper pack. I have no idea where I got it. But the cool thing is that you can still write on the back of this. So anyway, all right, I'm going to go ahead and sew around that, and I will be right back. Okay, so now I have sewn around it, and we're ready to go to our next step. I did ink around this, okay, front and back, because it'll be a little bit harder to do it later. And now what I'm going to do is I took just some regular tacky glue. You can use white glue. I like this because it's kind of thick, and that's why I'm using it. You could use Mod Podge, whatever. And we're going to take this glue, and we're going to put it not all over, but in different places on the wings. And we're going to let that sit there for just a second and go to the next one. Pretty much we're just going to go just in little spots all around it. You don't have to cover the whole thing. That's kind of not the idea. The idea is to just put the flakes in a few spots everywhere. It gives it kind of a vintage, like a flaky gold look, like a gold leaf look. I mean, you could skip this part completely. I just do it because I like the look. Because this, I mean, this really already looks pretty good, but anyway. And I don't worry about perfect coverage. I'm just trying to get it in spots. Now these little pieces are very delicate, and I break them all the time. And if you do, you can glue them back together, honestly. And I use my 3-in-1 for that, because if you use a water glue, it kind of, you know, moistens it again. Like these are a little moist from putting the paint on. So anyway, now that you've done that, you want your glue to be just a little bit tacky, not all the way dry, but not, you know, super wet. So I'm gonna just take my heat gun a little bit and just kind of dry these off a little bit more than they are. Not completely, but they're going to blow all around because they are very lightweight. Okay, that's all I'm going to do, because as I work on these, they're going to keep drying. And I don't want them all the way dry. So let's just take this piece, and I'm going to take these gold flakes. In fact, let me clean off this brush real quick. I think I have one that would work better. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to use this one. They fly all over the place, and usually every single time I get these out, my air conditioner or heater or something comes on. You have to kind of take them and just kind of lay them over there. You don't need a piece that big for this. Okay, and what's going to happen is this is going to go in all the places that you have glue. Now, if you wanted to cover the whole thing, you could cover it and put glue all over. But I am purposely not doing that. Okay, and then you just kind of take your brush and go in there. And I really don't know if you can pick up what it does is it gives it a very gilded metallic kind of look. And you kind of take your brush and go in where all the detail is. And anywhere you did not have glue, or if the glue is completely dry, it's not going to stick. So it's going to be just in spots. And I do that because I want it to look like it's kind of an old gilded, you know, piece. Okay, so let's see what else. This is drying pretty quick, so I probably need to take a piece and do that. Okay. You want to get to it before it completely dries, but you don't want to do it when it's really wet. If you have to add more glue, add more glue. It's not a big deal. Like this one, I think it's too dry. They may be drying too quick. May have to go in and put a little glue on them to make them stick again. Like this only stuck in a couple spots, so I'm going to put a little bit more glue on that. Let it sit for a second. I can already tell that one's probably drying too much. Got to work faster. You could just stick this stuff on all of them and it would probably be fine. Okay. And then go back and take it off. Because it does stick, you know. Okay. And there is a right way and a wrong way on this. One side's shinier than the other. It's sticking to my fingers because I have glue on my fingers. Okay, I'm going to probably have to put more glue on that one. Okay. Yeah, see, because I have glue on my fingers, it's sticking. So you're just going to basically go in and brush off. And if I'm using kind of a soft brush, you don't want to use a heavy duty, especially with this paper clay, because it'll break it. But you just want to kind of go with a soft brush and it'll brush off the extra pieces. Okay. And that's what you're going to get. And like I said, you could go in and do the whole thing if you felt like you wanted to do that. That's kind of not the look I'm going for. I do this when I do frames and stuff, like on my covers, because it really does, with the two tones of the gold, and then you'll see what else I do. It does give it a look, a really vintage look. If you just do the solid gold, to me it looks a little bit too shiny and new, and that's not what I'm going for. So, and save these flakes. I use them on pages and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, see, that's just the right amount right there, see? And all we're doing, yep, see? My air just turned on. That's why things are blowing around. Always, never fails. Won't be on, boom. As soon as I do this. Okay, this piece needs to be covered. And I'm only using, this is just a dry brush. Now the wet brush, I think this needs more glue on it because it dried. It's such a small piece. It dried really quick. Let's see how it does with the wet glue. Sometimes it just, if you just want the glue to be a little tacky. Now they sell a special glue for this, but honestly, I don't waste my money because it just stays tacky. I mean, it does work better, but I don't know. And what I do whenever I'm using this stuff, like on pages of just paper, if I use it on paper, I just use a glue stick. Glue stick actually works really well. And if I could use a glue stick on this, I would, because it probably works better than anything. Okay, we gotta do this piece a little bit. And I have a little jar that I put this stuff in, but I don't know what I did with it. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? I usually have it hiding in my drawer because I'm always using these little flakes all the time. There we go. Yeah, I just keep some in a jar because I do use them. Okay, let me get all this extra out of here. Got to be careful with this one because it's very delicate. Okay, you got none on that side. That's not good. This one's really causing a problem here. May not use this piece then. I don't want to break it, but I'm having to hit it to get all the stuff out in between. And it does just come right off. This is just a little bit more delicate, this one piece right here. But it'll still work. Yeah, it needs a little on that side. See, it's all, because there's a glue on here, it's all sticking to my paintbrush. Just a little bit right there. Okay, how do we look everywhere else? I think this wing could use a little bit more right there and there. Let's see, I think this wing looks pretty good. A little bit more. A little bit more right there. And a little bit more right there. Okay. So I'm going to put that there. And kind of brush it in. Put that over there. Put that on that wing. I'm just picking at pieces and putting them where I think we need a little bit more before it all blows off. It's going to blow away. I'm not kidding. I don't even think the air turned on for over an hour. I was in here. The heat is on, and it just usually never turns on because it's never that cold. Okay, so I think that's good. Maybe a little bit more in here. Just a tiny bit more up in here. So I'll take these little extra pieces and just kind of shove them in there and then just smush them around. Okay, I'm going to let that sit there for just a second and I'll wipe off this other one. And if you use a soft brush, it won't take everything off, but it'll take all the, it kind of burnishes these other pieces on. Okay. Yeah, I think it still needs more on this. I don't know why it's not wanting to stick. Get some of that off this brush. This brush is getting too much glue on it, which is not good. And you do have to be gentle because you can actually take it off if you brush too hard. And you're just basically trying to get it to adhere. Yeah, that's better. I like that better. I like that better. Okay. All right, we're just about done with this. And we have stopped and started so many times. I have no idea what our time is, but I guess we'll do it till it's done because I'm not going to do a part 2. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Get this one all. It does have a little bit more up here that needs to get done. And I'm just doing this to get the loose pieces off now. Okay. All right. I think that's done. That's done. Okay. Getting like a cramp in my hand. I do that when I do a lot of fussy cutting. Ugh, my hand will cramp up. Okay. Ooh, I breathed and they went everywhere. Yeah. You just want it to be kind of randomly all over. And you can see, even though the metallic was underneath there and that looks pretty cool, this just adds a different, just another layer to it. It's always about layers. You know, the more layers you add, the more things are going to look good, I think. you know, it's just whether you want to spend the time to do it all. And this is supposed to be a very unique special tag. I'm not saying you would want to spend that kind of time on all of them, but okay, so I'm going to take these extra pieces and I just, you know, just like glitter, I'm going to dump it in this little container because I do use them all the time. Uh-oh, I think I actually have a piece stuck in there. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Look at that, one of the pieces is in there. Well, that just made a big old mess. Oh gosh, the whole point in doing this on there was to be able to push it in there. Hold on. Okay, because it really is not that hard to handle. I mean, not that easy to handle because they just start flying everywhere. Yeah, this piece was still stuck in there, and I was putting it in the jar. Trying not to break this. It's really thin. Yeah, here I have to hold it in my hand to do it. And my brush is starting to get to where I probably need to get a different brush. If it starts picking up glue, it's going to start taking the foil away. Or the gold gilding or whatever it's called. Okay, yeah. That added a little bit more to it. It didn't have much on there. Okay, so then I'm going to take this and try and get it in there. And you know, you'll always waste some, but what's cool about it is those flakes. I've done it before where you take your glue stick and you put it on the edges of pages and tags and things like that. It's really fun. Okay, so now that we've done all these, if you can see, it is kind of a different look, okay? And that's how they look. You definitely, this is, you know, you may not want to do that. Then I take all my pieces and I'm going to put them over here. Do I have them all? Yeah, here's that one. I keep forgetting this one all the time, no wonder. And then I'm going to take my vintage photo and I'm going to use just a light brush, and I can use the same one, it'll work, and rub it in there. And I'm going to go over this with vintage photo, and I'm just going to kind of push it in there a little bit more. But what that does is it kind of antiques the whole thing up a little bit. I don't know, I had a different brush that I did this with the last time. I don't know, that worked a little better. Well, I don't know whether it will or not. I'm just going to keep using this one. But you want to be able to kind of get in there and just, you know, vintage up your piece a little bit. And it does. It adds a little extra character to it. Plus it brushes off all the, you know, extra pieces. I probably should have inked this a little bit before I did it. It's getting dry. And it just takes it to another layer of, you know, character. And if you were doing multiples of these, you would just, you know, do a little assembly line of one process and then do the next process. None of this takes very long. Doesn't take long to dry. It doesn't really take that long to apply, but it does add, I think, a lot. And I don't know if you'll be able to pick up on camera what it does, but it adds the look of it being old. I mean, that's really all I can tell you. Oh, this other piece is loose over here. Excuse me, it's going to fly away. And then I'll be chasing it all over the room. I try and keep the whole pieces together, you know, because you use them differently, but I don't really ever, I use the flakes kind of for my pages. Okay, a little bit more on that one. Okay, so let me kind of show you, if you can see that, how it looks. It looks just a little bit more, I don't know, vintagey, okay? And that's what it does to it, and it's kind of a neat look. You may not want to go through all that, but there you go. All right, so now that we've done that, where did our tag go? We have our tag, and we are gonna, some of these pieces are gonna go in different places on here, okay? But first, this is our image, and like I told you, this is our little angel, and I am gonna clip her wings. I'm gonna fussy cut around it, and I have two because I'm gonna layer these to give it dimension. But first I'm gonna do this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll probably speed this up a little bit. But I am gonna fussy cut around her. Pretty close, because I don't have a white edge on this. I wanna keep it, just basically I'm cutting her wings off is all I'm doing. So there's one wing, it's gone. And then I'm gonna do the next one. Let me see the easiest way to get to this. I mean, pretty easy. You don't want to cut at a sharp edge. You want to have a nice rounded shoulder and really just cut the wings off. Okay. Okay, that's wing number 2. So there we go. No wings, okay? I'm going to do that on this one. And you have to just play with whatever image you use to get it to the size, you know, whatever your wings are. These wings are a little bit bigger than the ones that I have, but I kind of measured it and it kind of looks kind of good with this, so that's what I'm using. Just have to all right, so anyway, we have the wings off, and I have my hands cramping up again. Oh gosh. Okay, I need to drink more water. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, where's my dots here? I'm going to take my little foam squares, and I'm going to basically, I don't know if one layer, it may have to be 2. I'm going to put one here, and then I'm going to put another one on top of it, and the wings are just going to go right here. So I kind of want the wings, it may take more, it may take 2 dots, or 2 things to do. I'm going to ink this also, so let me get my little inker thingy out and do that. Just because I want it to be vintage, and there's a little weight around it, a little bit, not a lot. And I didn't fussy cut this. I got a scanning cut just recently, and it did it. So, and it did a pretty good job. Better than I could have done it. I mean, I don't mind doing it if it's just a few things, but if you're doing loads, and it works pretty good. I mean, I wished it could get it to cut tags and things out a little better, but it just really depends on the background. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, which one's going to be on top? Do I have a preference? Did I cut one better than the other? No, I think I did a pretty good job on both, so I'll put this one on the bottom. And I'm going to put that right there. I'm not only going to put like 2 dots, and then I'm going to double them, because I do think it's, well, maybe 3. I think I can get away with 3. And then, and this is just to make sure that there's a little bit of height you know, dimension to the angel so that when the wings are on there, it doesn't look funny. I'm doing everything close to myself today. I don't know why. I think I'm just not seeing real good, so I'm pulling it toward me, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, let me see if that is going to be enough. Oh, my hands. All right. Yeah, that might be. Yeah. Well, let me see. Yeah, I think it will be. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this on there straight, which is kind of hard to do when your hands are cramping up so bad. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. Let's make sure we just line it up perfectly, right? So we have some dimension there. And then we're going to put that on there. And then the wings are going to go. And that's just so that they don't look like they have no you know, it fits on there. So here, let me put that on there like that a little bit. Like they're not just attached. Okay, that's going to go here just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll work. I think that shall work. Okay. So that's how it's going to go. And let me get my glue. All right. Now I have to decide which one of these things I want on top because I may just put the smaller one. I do want to put some sort of a string or tag through there, so I have to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. I don't really want this to stick up. I was thinking about that, but I don't know. It would be kind of cool though, wouldn't it? I punched a hole through this, by the way, and I did it with just a single punch, or you could use whatever, because it is paper. You know, you just have to have something wide enough to do that. So this was like all one solid little medallion there. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this on first, and then I'll put the angel on, okay? Oh, you know what? I probably should have painted the back of that. I'll have to go back and do that because you will be able to see part of it. So I'll just go back in and do that afterward. Most of this is going to be on the paper, but some of it, a tiny bit on top, will be above it. So that part probably should be painted. So I'm going to put this right at the top to where the hole is kind of just sticking out, and I want this to be, yeah, just like that. Okay, I may have to put my clamp on there. You know, maybe I'll do it lower. I might do it lower. Let's see. No, I don't know. Well, the angel still has to fit on there, though. Have to see. She can go that low. Or maybe like right here. And then see if her wings will fit. She almost has to go right there for her wings to fit. With that. And then these are supposed to kind of go kind of like right here. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it like that. I don't even know if it'll matter really, because that's, yeah, let me get that all down. I'm going to have to punch a hole in there later, which I can do, but okay, let's set that down. Okay, I think I'll put the angel on next. So she's going to have to go all the way as far down as she can. Right, did that go on straight in the back? See what I'm talking about on the back? This little part right up here is going to stick up, so I really kind of want to clamp it, but I don't want to do it too hard that I break it. Okay. Is that straight? Maybe this can go up a little bit on that side before it dries. Yeah. Okay, that looks better. All right. Now I'm going to put the angel on. I'm going to put her on, and then I'm going to put the wings on after, because I'm going to put them kind of in between. And I'm using the 3-in-1. Oops, put a big old drop on my finger that doesn't need to be there. Okay, a little bit more on this side. All right, and I'm putting quite a bit because this is going to have to stick to the, it has to stick to the lace that's on there. Okay. Now I'm going to put each wing on. And all I'm doing is just putting glue on the back. Okay, and I'm going to take this, and it's going to kind of hit the edge right there, but not quite, okay? So we're going to do that. I'm going to do this one. Make sure I get the edges good because I don't want them to chip off. And I have to really kind of look at this to tell what angle they should be at. Okay, that probably needs to go right there. I think maybe it down a tiny bit. No, that's about right. I think that's right. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that down so it sticks. I want to make sure I get the ends on there because they're very delicate. And, you know, I'm sure people would be careful with the tag, but it's just the idea that you want it to survive for a little while. And these, I kind of wanted to do them kind of like this. Right at the edges, right to the bottom. So we're not using that one. I was going to either use that one or that one, but I'm just going all out and going to use the big one. So I think we can handle it. It is over the top, yes, but you know, that's how I roll. Okay, so that is going right there. Get some glue off my fingers. And then this one is going to go right there. Okay, so that's going to go right there. And you do have to kind of push these down and hold them because, you know, they don't dry perfectly flat, and you need to make sure you have enough glue. Now, you could use hot glue, definitely, and that would work, I'm sure. Okay, so that is it. That's pretty much it. I'm going to punch a hole through here and put some sort of lace or trim on there. I don't know what yet. But let's see. I have my little hole punchy thingy here. I'm not using my big hole punch because that's awful thick. So I think what I'm going to do is try and use this one. This is just a little hand punch. It's not all the way dry though, so I don't know if I should just kind of wait till it's dry, or you do this with a little hammer thingy. I don't want to do that on my mat. Let me see what I have I can do it on. Just do it on this. Let's see if that's enough cushioning. Okay. Okay, I don't know if it went all the way through. I don't think it did. Nope, definitely not. I don't know if it's going to work. Right now the glue is all gooky in there. I think I'm just going to wait for it to kind of dry a little bit, and then I'll punch the hole through, and then I will put some sort of thing through there. I'm not sure if I'm going to put a piece of lace, or what I may do is do something like I did on that tree and do like a very thin gold just string or something. So I may not even punch a big hole. I may just put a little hole. Let's see. I've done, this tag is so big that it's like, I mean, so thick. There we go. I may just do something like that, just so that I don't want it super big on the other side. And then I have some string. I know I do somewhere. I just don't remember where I put it. Here it is. Yay. I just love it when you think you know where something's at and it actually is where you think it's at. I mean, how often does that happen? Okay, so I am just going to take, for right now, I may change it. I don't know. But I think I'm just going to put that through there. I may need a needle to get it through there or something, because I really did not make that hole very big. I definitely can make it bigger. Okay. The glue's still wet, so it's kind of gunking up right there. All right. That's not going to work. I need something else to poke that through there. Okay, there we go. I think that's it. So then I would probably just do a little string or something, and not anything real, you know. Oh goodness, I took it right out of there. Let me get that off the back, so. Try it again. If I don't get it this time, guys, I won't bore you with this, but oh dear. I'm actually pushing it back through. I just need enough of it to go through there to tie it off. Okay. There we go. Now it's all, this is where I screwed up last time. All right, let go. Here we go. It kind of frayed it a little bit, but that's okay. It'll be all right. And then I meant to do it longer than that, but oh well, that's okay. I'm not gonna, you guys get the idea. I'm not even sure I'm gonna leave this on there. But what I'm saying is I don't think I'm gonna put anything big like lace or anything like that up there. I'm just gonna put something, you know, just like a gold string, so that it will be just hanging there. And then you could put a hanger or something on there with that. So it's a tag, and it ends up being an ornament also. So that's the idea. So that's it, guys. That's our little angel dimensional tag. And it's actually a lot more lightweight than you would think. It really is. It's because this is all paper, and it's got all the gilding and everything else. So that's it for this time. And then the next time we'll actually do the journal. So that will be the end of that whole series. And I probably won't do anything until after Christmas after that. And I think We're getting close to my 1,500 viewers, and hopefully we do that. We get there. I think we're like 5 or 6 people away. And as far as new subscribers, and when we get to 1,500, I am going to have a really, really good prize for 3 different people, and hopefully it'll be a good Christmas gift to my subscribers. So all you have to do is comment on any video, 1 comment per video, and be a subscriber, and you're entered to win. So enter, because we're going to have a giveaway probably any day. All right? You guys take care.